We are going to be ranking every single race in Blox Fruit on this tier list right here. We got Godly, Pretty Good, Alright, and Dookie. And right here you can see we got the Angel race, Cyborg, Ghoul, Human, Rabbit, and Shark. We are going to be testing out all of these races to see which ones are really good and which ones you should not be using. And to start off, let's start off with Cyborg, the one that I have on right now. So Cyborg's V3 attack right here, like it does a lot of damage. As you can see, holy, just look at that damage. And not only that, it also can breaks. Cyborg also has a 40% defense buff, which makes it a really good for countering people. And also you can literally play any build with this. You can play sword, you can also play fruit main, you can play a bunch of different builds with this race because it's so versatile. Now that is the V3. Now let's show the V4 version. Now we're going to test out Cyborg V4, and as you can see, this is what it looks like. Now I want to show you the really unique thing about Cyborg. A lot of people use this race to also counter teamers, and you may be asking, why is this race so good against teamers? And that's because of this one simple thing that V4 can do. If we just hit one move that does splash damage, look at that damage! Everything is dead. And we did like 50 or 60k damage right there. Because Cyborg is so versatile and you can play basically everything with it. Plus you can farm with it, you can PvP with it. Like, it's so good. It has to go in the godly tier. It has to. Like Cyborg V4, it has to go into the godly tier. So the next race on the list is Ghoul, and it actually fits very perfectly because it's nighttime. And one unique thing about Ghoul, you are actually faster at nighttime, especially when you activate the V3 ability. Look at this, we're basically as fast as Ming, which is another race that we will be looking at later in this video. Now Ghoul is also a very versatile race. You can basically play any build with this. Now the V3 ability of Ghoul is actually really OP because of this one thing. If I use my Z ability right here, and if I activate this, not only do I become faster, but if I just spam this, did you see that? It was literally not off cooldown, but I could use it again, which is a really OP thing. And if you have cooldown on like your fighting style, for example, it also works on that, and of course on your fruit, gun, like basically anything that you have a cooldown on. Now Ghoul is known for being kind of a mix of all of the races. So it's like human, mink, and also its own thing because you can actually lifesteal or heal when you deal damage to other players. Now what I mean by this is if you activate heightened senses, you will actually heal up way faster, and you will also be way faster, and you will also be dealing a little bit more damage. Now we got Ghoul V4, and I'll just say I do not have all the gears for Ghoul, but I can show what it looks like right here. And yeah, it looks really dope. Now, the buffs for Ghoul, I will show you right here. I cannot really show you because I do not have the gears. But these are the buffs for Ghoul. Ghoul V4's most broken thing though, is you can actually get your things off cooldown way faster than any other race in the game. Which is why it's so annoying to play against if they're using something like Portal. I think Ghoul is also a really good race if you use it properly. It's so versatile, and I think it will go either in the godly category or in the pretty good. I'll put it in the godly category for now, but maybe I'll put it down to pretty good later. Now, in order to get our next 4 races, we gotta spend the rest of our fragments in order to get them. So let's see what race we'll get first, and it will be Shark. Alright, now Shark is known for one thing and one thing only, and that is being an absolute tank to basically anything in the game. If you're using Shark, you could basically use your V3 ability, and I know that it got a nerf, but that nerf is basically non-existent in my book. Now let me show you what I mean by this. So I'll have this guy hit me, and look at that, I'm not taking anything from any of his hits. It's so insane. Now, of course, Shark doesn't really provide any damaging or, of course, speed buffs. It mostly relies on its defense, but as you know, the best defense is also the best offense. Because even though that you are really defensive, you can actually just rush into any PvP match. And because you are so hard to kill, it is so annoying to fight against. Alright, now we got Shark V4, and holy, my face is blue. What is this? I didn't know this would happen. But as you can see right here, I got a little bit of a blue bar right over my health bar. And what that is, it is a shield. Now what this shield does is actually really OP. So we'll just tell this guy to hit me. Now just look at my shield real quick. Now just look at that. Before it actually takes down my health, it goes after my shield first, which is really OP. And how you get it back is one simple thing. Just deal damage and then you will get it back. Not only that, it also slows your opponent down, which makes you able to target them even more and get your shield back way faster. This race is so hard to kill and it has so much defense, so even though it doesn't really have any attack or speed buffs, it doesn't really matter because it is so tanky. Now, because it is so OP in my book, I know that, of course, maybe people will put it down here, but like in my book, I think it is way too OP. It gotta be in the godly tier. Now, we are just missing 3 races, so please let me get a new one. And we got Angel. Now, Angel is also known for being very defensive, but with the V4, it actually has a little bit of a twist to it. I'll show you that later. But first, let's show you the V3 move. So let's just say you're in a fight and you're actually getting pretty low. Like, look at that. My health is going down and oh no, I gotta heal back up. Then just activate your V3 ability and just look at that. It just goes up so fast. Now we got Angel V4. And first of all, I just want to say, look at this stand right here. Like, I'm looking so godly. Look at this. We can fly. We can fly up. We can fly down, and we're really fast with the flight. Now, this is what makes Angel really, really OP. The aura around Angel does massive, massive damage, stuns them, and keeps them in place. Just look at that. It stuns him and makes him also kind of like hallucinated. Your whole screen turns into random colors and shakes like crazy. It has a crazy shaking effect. And of course, it does a ton of damage. I will say Angel V3 is really good, but what makes Angel like really OP is the V4 version. Now, of course, this has to go into Godly. I even think it has to go right here. I think Angel is as good as Cyborg. I think Cyborg may be a little bit better because it is so versatile. You can play with any build. Now, the second last race that we got right here is Human. And of course, if you look at me, I do not have anything right here. I do not even have a tail. I don't have anything because I'm just a normal human. So already right off the bat, I look really boring. And I can already tell you with the V3, it is also really boring too. So the V3 of Human is alright. It is not the best, but I guess it's alright. So what Human V3 does is it deals more damage. So right now I do like about 1800 damage, and when this guy gets me low, alright, I think that's enough. Then I activate it and then I hit him. Look at that, almost 2400. So that was like a 600 damage increase. And what Human V3 does is the lower you are, the more damage it does. That is why it's also called Last Resort. Now, the reason why this ability is not very good, it is you don't want to be low and get close to your opponent. When you are low, you want to step away, heal back up, and then attack your opponent. You don't really want to attack them when you're low, except if they're going straight ahead and you gotta attack them to escape, then I guess it can work. But other than that, I don't think it is very good. Now, that was Human V3, but we also got Human V4, and maybe that will change the way that we look at Human. Now, here we got Human V4, and already right off the bat, it looks insane. One of my favorite races, like looks. Race V4 looks, and maybe it is even my favorite. I love it so much. The red eyes glowing, the rage, like it is so good. Now, right off the bat, if you look over my hotbar right here, you can see there is 3 spots right here and also a counter right here. These are flash steps, which also makes you faster and also makes you invisible while you use them, which makes it really good for you to get around. Like, let's say this is your opponent right here, and he's using a combo of some sort. You can just go around just like that, and then you're already behind him. Of course, I messed up a little bit, but you get the idea. Now, what the counter does, so if I damage this guy right here, you can see the counter is going up. And if he hits me again, it also goes up. So if we both hit each other, a lot of times, it will actually go all the way up to 100 or 150, depending on what gear you got. Now, I didn't get the 150 gear, I got the 100, but I got a better flash step. I mean, it really depends what you're going for. If you're going for pure damage, I 100% suggest you to get the 150 counter. But if you're also going for a little bit more versatility, like moving around, then 100% get the flash step. Now, human is really good, but I think it really needs a buff. The V3 pulls it down so much, and even though the V4 is so cool, I don't really think it is that good because it only gives you a damage and a little bit of a speed buff. There's no defense, and yeah, and I think I'll put this in the alright category. And maybe I'll put the Ghoul down in the pretty good category. Now, no offense to the Ghoul users, but I don't think it is as good as these three right here. Now, we got one race left. The one that every single skill user uses. And hopefully we get it. I really don't want to grind for it. And we got it! There's no way that we got every single race back to back. That gotta be a W. Everyone spam W in the comments right now because we got every single race back to back. Now, as you can see, I got 2 rabbit ears and a very, very long tail right here. I am looking like a fairy at the moment. Either way, let's test out the V3 ability. So right here, we got agility. And, I mean, you can basically guess what that is. It is a very, very fast movement ability. And of course, this is really good in PvP because you can move around very, very, very fast. Now for the V3, I don't really have that much else to say than it gives you a speed buff. And the reason why people use this race for skill build, it is because this is the least OP of the races. I'll just say that right now, it is the least OP out of all of the races. Now here is Rabbit V4 looking clean, I must say. I will say the Rabbit V4 looks really dope. As you can see, it really fits my character with the white hair and with a very, very big tail. Maybe not the tail is very fitting. What this race does is of course makes you very fast, but when I dash, I spawn a very, very, very big tornado. And once someone goes into this tornado, let's say this guy right here, they get stunned and flinged up into the air. Just look at this. So what I can just do is go around in a circle and just look at that damage. Of course, this doesn't really work in like a normal PvP fight against someone who is pretty good. A lot of people really like this race because of the mobility, and people can do crazy things with it. Now, I will say I'm not one of those people. I'm not very good with skill build. I've tried it out. I've got destroyed by my friends who is pretty good at skill build. I'll be a little bit biased and put it in the alright category because I'm not the biggest fan of skill build. Yeah, and I'm not the biggest fan of rapid. Either way, this was my tier list. We got Cyborg, Angel, and Shark at godly tier. Then we got Ghoul at pretty good. I'll just say good because it is a good tier. Then we got in the alright category, human, rabbit, and nothing in the dookie category. Because at the end of the day, all of these races do something different and everyone has their own playstyle. That is why I don't want to put anything in dookie, because no one has a bad playstyle. I'm just here to give you my opinion on what I think is the best. And of course, I'm not really like a skilled user, so yeah, take that into accountability. Either way, I think that's it. Thank you so much, Mr. Desert, biggest fan, and also Tux for being in the video. I'm Mr. Desert, and I'm out. Peace!